Here. Pass us to Gloria.
I got a big speech. 5 minutes.
Okay.
Of course, I forgot about you. You might want to speak here. But I want to welcome all of you, the family, as well as so many friends who came from the United States. They came from Alabama, from Livingston, New Jersey. Alabama? Georgia. You came, not Georgia. Okay. So you're Tiva and Kurt had three daughters and four granddaughters and one grandson. So he is our first and only grandson, and here are some of the others. Actually, what I wanted to talk about tonight is what happened really to Jonah. Jonah was moved from East Brunswick, from all places in West Orange. And since he is in West Orange,
Westfield.
No, he's in Westfield.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about 5 minutes from our house.
Good.
So what happens is, if he has late hours, Tiva and I, we go to the school, we pick him up, we bring him up at 8 o'clock in the morning back to school.
Meanwhile, he ate matzo ball soup.
And anybody
Forgot
eats
it.
matzo ball soup, he sure does. The fact is that he's closer to us and to the Greenstein in the sense that he moved where he moved.
Right.
I wanted to tell you something that has happened to Kurt Altman. About 60 years ago, my parents had decided it's time to move from Germany. And from all places, we selected to go to Palestine. The first place that my father, who was Orthodox, took me in Palestine was to the Wailing Wall. It was a 7-foot wide path that very few could get in. It was Arabs all around. And never did I dream that I would talk to my grandson 60 years later in Yerushalayim. Not Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. I was in Yerushalayim, in the Wailing Wall, and I understand you were there today.
Yesterday. Etmol.
Yeah.
Etmol.
And I understand that your Hebrew, I know what I talked to him, his Hebrew is really magnificent good. He speaks it
Like Israeli.
He calls Sapta on the phone. How do I write Shalom or whatever it is?
Spelling.
And he really is a guy who, when it comes to Jewish living, he is really totally involved in Israel as well as in the United States and in the school. So we are very happy that you are now closer to us than you used to be. Years ago, when I thought it was a good thing to say, about 60 years ago, I went to Europe, to Germany, and I took my son along, my two daughters along, and we went to a place I was brought up in Mosbach, Germany. And then I said, it's time to visit the grave of my parents. My parents are buried in
Grandparents.
Mosbach. And I said, how are we going to find the grave? That's it. I'll show you. So I tell Dory and Karen and Sharon, I want you to go around this gravestone.
Each
which
row, we
was
made
not
a row.
Jew-
Each one.
It was
took a
not
row.
a Jewish cemetery, and find the grave of our grandparents. And lo and behold, after 20 or 30 minutes, they threw off their hands and they said, "We can't find it." Of course, the cemetery, which was a Gentile Jewish cemetery, was pretty much neglected. The weeds and the grass were that high, and you couldn't find even a grave. And I said to Dorian Karen, "I tell you what you do. According to Jewish law, you're allowed as a Kohen," and we made it a point, as a Kohen, you're allowed to go on the fence. And Dory and Karen and Sharon went along the fence to find that grave. And suddenly was it you or Karen said, "Dad, we found it." What did you find? And Aaron just did this. All we had to look for is for a stone saying the Birchat Kohanim, the blessing of a Kohen. And that was, we found my grandparents, your parents, a grave in Mosbach. Of course, it was a very moving trip all the way. We even went to Munich, to Dachau. We went to concentration camps that we went exposed to, right? And of course, here's I am from thinking about Mosbach and this, and I'm here at this in Yerushalayim, at home. This is it. And I'm so proud and so happy that you are. Sabta just told me that you made last time Havdalah. And he made the Havdalah like he makes the Kiddush. If this would have been Friday night, he would make the Kiddush. Last Friday night, Dory and Jennifer invited us for dinner, right? And Dory sits at the head of the table, and who is next to him? Karen. And he says the Kiddush of the Friday night. Am I right?
Like an Israeli.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now comes all of a sudden Kohanim. I'm a Kohen. The Altman name doesn't mean that automatically I'm a Kohen. But my grandfather, the one they found, was a Kohen. He is a Kohen. His father is a Kohen. And in my shul, I call it a shul, in my synagogue, when it comes to high holiday, not Shabbat, there is a duchen. The duchen is the blessing of the population. You get up and you say the blessing, what Aaron just did to Jonah. You say the blessing of the holidays and of the Kohanim. And so when he, even as he was younger, he gets up with his father. His father is called to make the blessing. Who is with him? Jonah is holding right on to his pants, and he is up near the ark, and he says, he covers himself with a talit, right? And by the way, you have talit here. We have a new talit for you and everything. And he covers himself with talit, and he says, Birchat Kohanim. So all what can I tell you? I'm very, very proud that Mama, so is Tiva, so is your parents, that you decided that Yerushalayim is where you want to have a bar mitzvah. And all of us are very, very, very proud that that's what you had. Of course, Rebecca, who also goes to your school, is also learning Hebrew as he does. Where's Rebecca?
Right here, hiding,
Right?
hiding.
Look at it. She can't say Birchat Kohanim, but she learns what Jonah has learned, becoming a real Jewish men and women who helped this state of Israel that we all, at least we, fought for. My brother was in the army, I was in the Israeli army, and tomorrow morning you'll find two more children of Tiva's sister who live in Brussels, Belgium. That's where they live for the last 10 years, because the father, who was a paratrooper, went to Brussels and started a business, and he lived in Brussels. Look what happened to Brussels in the last few years. Didn't do so well. So those two sons, were about 18 and 20, decided it's time for good to go to Israel. And guess where they are? They are paratroopers. The one, they are paratroopers in Israel. And you will meet them in the next few days. And it's very touching that this is what happened to our grandchildren. And so Aaron, so I wanted just to complete in the green sign. You've done a good job with Gloria and with Teddy, and so you did for that one, and of course you were part of the and now we are represented with Rebecca as well, and Sharon, and Karen, and Jennifer. Who is missing?
That's Jennifer.
Are really devoted, and we are very, very happy and proud of Jonah, what you have done, and for your parents and grandparents, that you look what you did. Look at back and say, your background getting from Germany. I was coming to Israel and spoke German.
You never talked to me in German. We have to do that.
So I spoke German.
Good.
My father was called to school several times in Herzliya, where you went. Why? They wanted to talk to the father. My father came stuttering and says, "Ani lo yodea ivrit." I can't speak Hebrew. And he said, "I'm not going." I said, "Saba or Abba, it's about time you're going to learn Hebrew." And they stuttered a little bit, but they spoke.
His mother never did.
They did okay.
Right?
They did okay. They did okay. They managed.
They did very well.
Because all this settlement, all German, so they didn't need it.
Joined the families, the Greensteins, the Altmans, and you from Alabama, from Atlanta,
Georgia.
Mazal tov.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good.
It's a hard act to follow.